On Tuesday, we talked with Grady Bishop from Elanco Animal Health at the Pork Industry Day in West Point. Grady talked there about providing a safe, affordable, and abundant food supply. We started by asking about the global state of agriculture as it relates to producers here in Nebraska.
Well, I think the first thing is that the global state of agriculture is never better, had never been better in the sense that the demand for what we do right now is as high or higher than it's ever been in history. When you think about the global demand for food over the next 50 years or so, it's been stated that by 2050 we're going to have to double the amount of food that we had produced by 2010. So between 2010 and 2050, doubling the amount of food that we produce. 70% of that coming from efficiency improving technologies. So the positive aspect from agriculture is that what we do today is highly in demand and critical for the future going forward.
Now, on the other side of that, the reality is there are only so many acres that you can devote to crops or to livestock. So how do you get to that food need that you have coming?
Well, I think one example is the model that we've utilized even within the U.S. over the last 40 to 50 years. You can see pretty clearly over the last 60 years, for example, we've maintained essentially the same level of inputs, but we've increased our outputs by 150% in terms of farm productivity. So that's one of the critical pieces of it is creating a model to where we can continue to utilize technology, continue to drive efficiency to be able to meet that growing demand. There's really no other option.
What does technology mean? You mentioned technology. What does that word define?
Well, it can be defined broadly. It can be products, it can be practices, it can be genetics, all those types of things that we've learned over the years and we continue to develop that allow us to more efficiently utilize resources, more efficiently produce protein with, whether that be in the swine industry, beef industry, any number of examples, but can be broadly stated around those kind of key areas.
How does that differ from country to country? This country and what it does for research based off of what you've seen in the past 5 years, and then what happens down in South America, say, or China? How does it differ?
Well, I had the opportunity to live and work in South America, and I think it's essentially the same. The key difference is where's your baseline? Where are you starting from? So things that we've been able to employ over the last 20, 30 years, in some places they still haven't been able to employ that. I mean, the Green Revolution at the beginning of the 20th century, mid parts of the 20th century, really was about taking things that we had developed around hybrids and irrigation and fertilizer, all of those things into areas where they had not utilized those types of technology. And that created a huge revolution in terms of ag productivity. I think we're at that point again where, again, there's things that we're doing in certain parts of the world where we haven't been able to introduce those that would allow us to increase productivity. That said, I think there's even more need beyond where we are today to advance in this whole area of investment around developing technologies and practices for food production.
Staying on that global scene, over the past few months, producers in this area and across the country, I'm sure, have kept a close eye on Brazil and Argentina and the drought concerns there. When we talk about increasing food, there's almost this difference between increasing food across the globe, but also making sure prices here at home stay high. So where's that battle at?
Right. I think at the end of the day, it's an economic kind of conversation around profitability and productivity and so forth. I think the positive thing, and I believe we're seeing that today, the positive thing going forward, the reason to be very bullish in terms of agriculture is this demand that's out there globally is not going to shrink. If you think about 3 billion people moving into the middle class globally, the impact that has on the types of food purchases that they want to make and that they're able to make translates directly to demand and opportunity for growth and for development of agriculture. In
your beginning slide, you put up some numbers. By 2050, we're going to need 100% more food.
100%.
What if we don't? What if we don't make it there?
I think you're at the point where the consequences of us not innovating, not embracing technology are going to be substantial because the population increase that we have, that we've already seen because of the increase of affluence and so forth, the demand that's on the system. So, I hate to think of what that world looks like, but I'm very positive that those signals are now being sent strongly enough up and down the food chain to those people that are in a position to make decisions about choice and technology that we're going to be able to meet that challenge. I mean, that we can't approach that any other way without feeling very positive and optimistic that we're going to be able to do that.